Hello, this is Brandon, and this is Come Let Us Reason. Another topic that is always interesting to discuss, and it's something that is very pertinent in today's society, is the topic of spiritual gifts. Are there miracles occurring today? Are we still in the age of miracles? Does God give us spiritual gifts that we use to teach others the gospel? These were the purpose of spiritual gifts to begin with, were to teach the gospel. They were not for the saints to make a show of themselves. They were to teach. They were to use them to teach those who did not believe the gospel. They confirmed the word. But these gifts were always meant to come to an end. They were not meant to be a permanent installation of the church. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 8. See, Paul starts by talking about something that is permanent, that is fixed, that is static, that will not ever go away. Love. Love is something that is eternal. Love never faileth, 1 Corinthians 13:8. But then he puts a contrast. You see, the Corinthian brethren were using their spiritual gifts in a way that was not pleasing to God. So they needed a contrast. So love being the permanent fixture, to spiritual gifts being the temporary fixture. 1 Corinthians 13:8. Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. You see, they did not have part of the truth, but they delivered the truth in parts. They had to have, if they wanted to learn the gospel, they had to have somebody who was the gift of prophecy, so he could teach. Somebody with the gift of knowledge. Somebody who had the gift of discernment, so they could tell whether the person was speaking the truth or not. They had to have all of these things together to teach the gospel. So they got it in parts. This system was not perfect because of all the little things that had to be in place for the gospel to be taught. 1 Corinthians 13:10. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When that perfect system comes, when that which is complete comes, teleos means complete, which is the Greek word used for perfect. That which is in part is going to be done away with. That spiritual gift system is going to be done away when that which is complete is come. Now, what is that which is complete? That's the Word of God. Why? How do I know that that's the Word of God? Because we have all we need. The Bible is a complete book. We don't need any more of it, and we don't have less than we need. So it is that complete system. It is the complete Word of God. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Brethren, it's time for us to put away those childish things, those things that were not a perfect system. They were intended to bring about the Word of God in the form of a Bible. And when they brought that, we didn't need them anymore. You see, when we had the Bible, we could teach somebody the gospel from its word. We don't have to rely on other people when the gospel is taught to teach us. We can go and look for ourselves in the Word of God. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. When those spiritual gifts were done away with, they would see clearly, because they'd have the whole Word of God. Brethren, these spiritual gifts are not occurring anymore today. As great as that would be, it would not help anybody learn the gospel anymore. You remember what Abraham said to the rich man when he was in hell. He asked, or rather when he was in Hades, he asked Abraham, can you send Lazarus to my brethren so that they may not end up in the same place? But what did Abraham say? He said, if they're not going to hear Moses and the prophets, they're not going to hear even if one rose from the dead. You remember when Lazarus was risen from the dead, you remember what they tried to do? They tried to kill him. People aren't going to believe just because there's miracles. And miracles, they just confirm the word to those who already are going to believe because of the truth. There is evidence that the Bible is true. I do not need miracles today. You do not need miracles today to know that the Bible is the Word of God. We can be absolutely positive and sure. This has been Brandon with Come Let Us Reason.